Right at it. Right at it. Oh, he's done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Alrighty, welcome to the 10th episode of the Go Get That podcast. This has been the most requested episode easily. I've got probably close to 10 or 15 DMs about this, which I'm not sure why, but well, I kind of see why. But given we're Spieth fans, I'm not really sure why we were the ones you want to hear talk about it, but we will. Tiger Woods, obviously, is a very known figure in the golf world. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure everyone knows, his career was halted by a car accident last winter. And so we're going to talk about what his comeback looks like, or if it happens at all, or whatever we think. I know I'll just get this off the bat. I'm not a Tiger fan, but I do think my opinions today are pretty much the same as they'd be for any golfer who's in the situation. I don't think as much as, I mean, obviously there's some bias in some of the opinions I'll have tonight, but in terms of the overall opinions on whether he'll be back or whether he'll win again, those are pretty set in stone, to the same as if they were Jordan. But I mean, the situation's pretty clear that obviously very unfortunate. Tiger's great for the game, but I don't know. Where do we want to start, fellas?
I'll go ahead. I'm also not the biggest Tiger fan. I'm not anti-Tiger, but I'm Jordan first. I got a few guys in front of Tiger, but I think I'll probably be pretty repetitive on this podcast, but you don't have to be a Tiger fan, but at the very minimum, you should want Tiger back. And
Absolutely.
It's a very simple reason. It's because he's so good for the game. I don't care if you don't like the guy, that's fine, but don't root for him. But him being on the TV is good for golf. So you really can't be a golf fan and not want Tiger to come back, because the sport's just not going to do as well without him. So
I agree with that, actually. Even not being someone who roots for him while playing, I think that there's been a lot missing with Tiger not playing. There's a lot of hype that comes with Tiger playing in majors that we didn't see over these last four. Tiger has obviously been someone who always makes noise, and at least one of the majors in a year, usually more, almost like Brooks, where like even when he's not playing his best, he'll usually find a way to make something of it, just because that's his nature. I mean, he's one of the greatest golfers to ever live, and that's kind of his mindset. But I agree with you. I want Tiger back just as much as anyone, not for the fact that I want to root for him. I just think that when he's on the screen, the golf world is in a better place for it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think what's been awesome in a sense about this comeback, obviously it's terrible that the accident happened, and hopefully he's doing well. And but I think it's cool to see that it's been kind of under the radar, kind of out of the media. Like I feel like I don't know much about where Tiger's at, and for as big of a star as he is, that and in today's day and age, that's hard to do. So I think it's good that he's getting the time away from everything, from being Tiger, if that makes any sense, to just being Tiger the dad, and Tiger the family man, and Tiger the person. And I think that's been awesome. And I think that allows him to make a comeback when he feels comfortable being Tiger the golfer again. And who knows, maybe that never happens. But like you guys said, hopefully it does, because Tiger Woods being in contention on any Sunday at any event, and especially now, considering that he'll probably only play in the big events like the majors and Torrey and Memorial or API, like that's it's insane, right? It's a different level from any other player in contention on Sunday. So hopefully we get to see that somewhat soon, but we have no idea when he'll be back to doing competitive golf.
I think it's a pretty cool point you brought up that I know Tiger probably doesn't look at it like this, but I think there's definitely some positive things about him not playing from his perspective. I mean, he's accomplished everything in the game of golf. I mean, there's nothing else for him to accomplish. So I think just being able to sit with Charlie, sit with his other kids, and just spend time, be a dad. I think there's definitely some benefits that he's probably taken away. And I assume the next time he talks to the media, whenever that may be, it wouldn't shock me if he alludes to that he's actually getting to like be a dad full time, because I'm sure he's having a great time doing that.
No, you're definitely right about that. I think that's what I'm saying is I've never one of the reasons why I've never liked Tiger is because I never really thought he was I never really liked his choices that he made in the early part of his career, and that kind of stuck with me. I never thought he was a very good person, but I will say I think there's something to be said about how Tiger has definitely made an effort to change, and it's been clear and evident over the past 10 years since everything that happened with all the scandals and everything. I truly believe that he's a good father. I think he knows what happened with his father and what that relationship was like, and I think he wants it to be a little different. I think Charlie Woods is a very lucky son, because I think Tiger is definitely focusing more on being a dad than being a golfer and then a dad. You see how much Tiger loves to play with Charlie. I love to play with Charlie at the PNC, which I think was really cool. I even found myself rooting for them at that event, even though I'm not a Tiger fan. But it is good to see that Tiger can definitely get to spend more time with his children. And I think I think I agree with that. I think that is a positive to all this, as much as it's tough to take positives from it. I'm sure if this didn't happen, Tiger probably wouldn't have had much time to reflect on that. And now he's kind of getting to see that. And then he can obviously make his decision of what he wants to do in the future. But I will say, also, I don't know if I've told anyone this. So someone I know, I'm not going to say who just in case. But so they're good friends with Joe LaCava, and Joe LaCava told him that Tiger had some sort of mindset of playing golf in the next year. I'm not sure whether that will happen. But to hear someone say that close to him, that's also, it just shows that Tiger's mind is always going to be competing in golf. Like Tiger wants to be back. I could have guessed that without anyone telling me anything, but I truly believe he's going to tee it up in another PGA Tour event, just because I feel like he'll want it enough. He doesn't really need, he can take as much time as he wants. He's got lifetime exemption. But yeah.
I mean, for as great of a competitor as he is, and this is the same thing that goes for like Tom Brady and Michael Jordan as well, is like, it's just hard to turn that competitive mode off, I think. So Tiger wants to be back, but hopefully he doesn't feel rushed to be back, if that makes any sense. Like, hopefully he is taking his time in his recovery, making sure that everything's going well, mentally and physically. Because I think I agree with you, Bob. Like, it's pretty safe to assume that Tiger wants to be playing golf again. But I think giving his body time and his mind time to not play golf is helpful and beneficial. And I think it could do him wonders when he does return to golf, just sort of new perspective, new appreciation. And, hopefully we get to that point, right? Because again, we're assuming he makes a comeback, but at the same time, like, we don't know anything about where he's at, how he's feeling. Like, who knows if he's even hit like full swing, anything really, right? So it's like, this is all kind of assumption, and I am curious to see if he comes back, when he comes back, because I don't think it'll be at Torrey, which is his normal starting point for a new year of golf. The Masters seems like an interesting spot to restart, but I
That would
wouldn't
be
be
electric.
surprised
If that did happen, that would be electric.
yeah, I wouldn't. If he feels comfortable playing, he will play the Masters. But I don't know if he'll be ready at that point. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about when.
Yeah,
what
Jordan,
makes sense
I'll
for a
go, you
comeback.
go, and then I'll
Yeah,
say
so
my
just
thoughts.
going back to the whole like competitive thing that all these Brady, Michael Jordan, Tiger all have. I think a big like thing that's kicking Tiger in the butt is seeing Phil win at the PGA. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of flying under the radar, not just because of the rivalry that they used to have, but I mean Phil's what 51, 52. Tiger's not that old. I know Tiger comes with a lot more injuries than Phil does, but Tiger's definitely looking at Phil and saying, if this dude can do it at 52, I can do it at where Tiger's like 45, 46.
Yeah, I think.
So, and then of course, I mean, they got their rivalry. So I think Tiger seeing Phil win a major probably lit a spark into him. And then just going back regarding where we could possibly see Tiger start, I think if he wanted to play the Masters, he'd need to play at least one event before that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
know
don't
how
think-
comfortable he is at Augusta, but you can't just show up and expect to play well. So, and I think that's what Tiger would strive to do in his comeback. He wants to come back and play well that first, well, maybe not play well the first event, but if that's why you can't play the Masters the first event back, because you're probably not going to play well in it.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to play the Masters, he'd have to play sometime before that. But again, we don't know where he is. We don't know what pain he's going through. So I think we'll just have to see in a couple months.
Yeah, that being said, though, I wouldn't be surprised if he did show up at the Masters without playing another event before. Like, if he feels comfortable enough to play and he's like, all right, in 3 weeks, it's the Masters, like, let's just get out there and see how it goes. Because, like, an MC at the Masters isn't going to derail Tiger Woods' legacy or anything like that. So,
No.
we'll see. And maybe the Masters might be wishful thinking, right? Like, we've said this a couple times, but we don't know anything about when. I don't think anybody really knows anything about when Tiger could possibly play competitive golf again. And the Masters might just be too soon. But there are a couple of spots after that where I think if he's ready, we could see him. Particularly the Memorial. I think it's in like early June, late May.
Yeah.
So it's 8 months away.
I think
Who knows, right? But
I think
another spot.
I think it's also possible that if he were to come back this year, which I'll get into why I don't think that will happen in a second, but I think if he were to come back this year, I wouldn't be surprised if he had his mindset on what, like kind of like Jordan said, he doesn't want to play the first event being a big tournament where he has to play well. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up if he has his mindset as like the Memorial for like his big like return. If he just shows up to the Valspar before that, just as kind of a warm up, like
That'd be cool.
Like he just shows up to a random event that he's played once in the last 10 years. You know,
I mean, that's what he was doing in 18, right?
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, but I'm going to say I don't see him coming back this season. I think a point that I would say he comes back is Torrey of the next year. I think it's going to take. I think we're forgetting what actually happened to him, and I think we're also it's sort of going over our heads how much this has set him back. I mean, we've seen him walking, but I mean, he probably went. I can't even give you a time frame how long he went without taking a step. That sets you back a lot. Because I mean, it almost takes time just to relearn how to walk. But not only that, I mean, he's going to basically have to relearn how to swing a golf club at a professional level, because he hasn't swung a golf club probably in a very long time, and that goes away. I mean, I'm sure we'll come back to him pretty fast, but it's not going to come back to him playing at championship contending level.
Right. Yeah. He has to reestablish the swing feel, so to speak? Like, what's
Well,
it
she's
like
done
playing competitive
umpteen
golf?
times, so
Yeah. But
Yeah.
in terms of the comeback, I'm sure everyone thinks that the comeback is winning. I I guess I'm going to get a little bit of slack for this because I know everyone's like, well, yeah, but I do think we've seen the last of Tiger contending at PGA Tour events just because of the fact that the PGA Tour that he left is, as we said, is not the PGA Tour he's going to come back to. We talked about in a few episodes ago about the difference between skill level from 2015 and now. It's that same thing from when he last played. And I think we're also forgetting what actually happened. He got in a car accident. He almost died. He shattered his like knees. His entire lower body basically is going to be had to be redone. And he's old. He's old. He's not young. I know everyone's like, all right, 2019 Masters, that's what everyone's pointing at. And I think that there's something you said about that. I never in a million years thought that he was going to win another major when he did. But this is not a back surgery. This is not this is a back surgery on top of also almost having your legs gone. Like, I mean, he almost lost his legs. And I think it's going to be too hard. And I think he'll realize that. But I think it goes back to just saying he's going to try very hard to swing a club again professionally, whatever that matters. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe 5 years down the line, maybe he contends in like a PGA Tour Champions event. I wouldn't be surprised at that because at that point it would be a lot more in the rearview mirror. But his body is already very like banged up. So just add another thing to the fire. I mean, it's going to be very tough for him to get back to playing at a level where he can contend and or win a PGA Tour event, given how talented and skillful it is right now.
I think that's the most accurate thing you've said. I'm going to be the disagreeer here. And I'm going to get all the Tiger fans on my side. I think if Tiger Woods ever plays PGA Tour golf again, it will be this year. I'm not a doctor, but we have, as you said, we've seen him walking. And the Masters is 6 months away. So, again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know how long it's going to take him to be able to walk without any limp. But I just think we see him again. I don't think he'd come back after this year. I just think you're adding more time, more rust. I just see him this year. Maybe it's not the Masters. I mean, the Masters could be the first time we see him publicly again because I think at the bare minimum, he'll be at the Champions dinner. But I do think it's possible he doesn't play the Masters. It might be too early, but something is telling me he'll be back this year. And I don't see him coming back the year after this coming year.
I'm curious to see, obviously the Hero World Challenge is coming up and that's his event. And a lot of big name guys are there. It's a small field event. And it's, it's kind of fun. I guess it's a little like end of the season teaser before Hawaii in January. But at the Hero, I expect, and I think a lot of people feel the same way, that there will be something Tiger Woods related, some sort of
It'd be nice
post, some sort of update. And, because it is his event, so maybe there'll be some sort of like interview, some sort of showing, but who knows, right? Because at the beginning, I talked about how he is keeping it all under the radar, and I think that's really good for him. And I'm glad that as hard as the media is trying to find stuff about Tiger, I'm glad that there's because I think it's pretty clear that Tiger doesn't want stuff out there. So I'm glad that there's not stuff being put out there about Tiger when it's clear that he doesn't want stuff out there about himself and where he's at. But the Hero makes sense as a place to hear from Tiger, see Tiger. And who knows, maybe we don't, and it's just like a little awkward in that sense of like, well, the host is like, well, we're just not gonna really talk about him, or because at the Arnold Palmer they talk about Arnie and the legacy he had, and at the memorial Jack comes on TV all day and is talking about his course and his family and his golf and whatnot. And
I'll
I don't know.
piggyback off you. I think we see Tiger in person at the Hero personally.
I do
Wow.
too. I do too.
So
if he can
I'll
walk
go-
again, he wants to be there.
Exactly.
I mean,
I'll go back to the point where I said the Masters could be his first public appearance. Take that off the board. I bet you we see him at the Hero. I mean, I was just looking at the video because I couldn't remember fully for myself. He's walking without crutches. He's got a little limp, but I see no reason why he wouldn't be at his own event. In a month's
Other than
time or so.
publicity, I think.
What'd you say?
The only reason he wouldn't be there is if he just was like, I just don't want to be in the
True.
spotlight right now.
I think he'll be there though, because it's not like he's got a major cast on his leg anymore. He doesn't look like he's a injured person. I mean, the video that I was just seeing, he's got a sleeve on it, but like that's not too major. I think we'll see him.
The only reason I would say I agree with you. The only reason why I think we wouldn't see him is because if he doesn't want to do the press conference, because if he's going to be there, he'd have to do a press conference being
That's
the
a good
host. And I'm not sure he wants to answer all the what ifs yet.
Nice 2-hour press conference for the host.
But at the same time, I also think like he's Tiger Woods. He could easily be just like, I'm not answering any questions about my injury. This isn't about me. This is about my foundation. This is about the guys who are playing. This is about the event. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him say that either. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a good chance we see him maybe like via like a video, like maybe they have him on a broadcast or something via video call where the questions are already like asked, like he's gone over them. He makes sure there aren't. But who knows? I mean,
maybe at the
speculating.
Genesis as well, because that is another Tiger Woods affiliated event. That's in February or so. But I don't know. I just hope he's doing well, obviously, right? I know we keep coming back to it, but at the end of the day, like he's a human being who has an unreal golf legacy. And he's been through some things off the course for sure. I mean, and on the course, but off the course, right? There's a lot of media headlines about Tiger. And I guess I keep going back to I haven't seen media headlines about Tiger, and I think that's good. Like you probably would get tired of being in the spotlight all the time. And so to not be in the spotlight probably feels so nice for Tiger right now. And that makes me think that if he decides to play again, which he doesn't need to play again. He's already cemented himself as the best golfer ever. If he decides to play again, I think he'll be fresh and he'll feel like he's ready to go.
Yeah, just going off the off the course stuff and how he's changed. I mean, if any of you listen to our interview with Sean Van Engelen, who's met Tiger personally, Tiger's changed. I get it. We have I have a lot of followers on Instagram that are very anti-Tiger, and that's fine. But I mean, I try to be a very no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I know neither of you two are perfect. I know you guys personally. But just Tiger's changed. I think he's tried to become a better person. He's a lot kinder to the media than he ever used to be when he was coming out on tour. He seems to be a really good dad. I don't know him personally, but everything I see on social media and that Sean's told us, I mean, he seems like a really genuine dude now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know, obviously this is going to be a pod that people will be listening to over the next few months. I mean, this isn't going to be one of those that people listen and then that'll be it. Obviously the Sean interview will not be out when we drop this, but for those of you who have already listened to the Sean interview. I agree with what you said. I mean, nobody knows him personally. I mean, we say what we say. Like I never thought I disagree with a lot of the decisions he's made. But at the end of the day, I can't choose whether to like someone or not like someone. Like, it's just like whatever I feel. But Tiger Woods lives a life that none of us are accustomed to. We don't really know what's going on with him. We didn't really know what was going on with him 12 years ago. So, and from that standpoint, I think you do have to cut him some slack. And I think it is good for him to be out of the spotlight now. I think he enjoys that. Yeah. And for those of you who haven't, or it hasn't come out yet, you definitely want to listen to Sean's interview, because he knows Tiger personally, obviously, and he gives some insight into that. And along with a lot of other things. But that's a great interview with a very smart man who's also a professional golfer and knows Tiger pretty well. But yeah, I think in terms of the off the course stuff, right now, I think he's very happy with how it's going on. I think he's happy that there aren't update highlight headlines every week. Like you said, Dan. So I think he kind of feels like his timetable isn't being set by the media, which
Right.
makes it a lot easier
as
for
it
him.
as it shouldn't be.
Exactly.
Like Tiger doesn't have to ever play golf again. He just doesn't have to. The only and hopefully the only reason he comes back is because he wants to.
Agreed.
And as of right now, my prediction is that he will want to. And my prediction is that he will win again. And I know Bob's given his thoughts on that. I don't know if Jordan's made a solidified prediction, but I think Tiger gets PGA Tour win number 83, because I'm not counting Tiger out until Tiger's like, I'm done. He's proven too many times that he is not done playing golf and can play at a high level. So we'll see.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So it's 2v1 versus Bob. I think if Tiger comes back, he's winning.
This is expected.
I'm sorry. Tiger Woods is not coming back to play golf just to play golf. He's coming
Yes.
to win.
I think that if he comes back, he definitely is going to think he can win.
If he comes back and doesn't win again in his career, he's going to say to himself, I did all that as a waste, because he's proved to his kids he can win, overcoming pretty much anything when he won the Masters. So I don't see him coming back and not winning.
But I also think, again, you need to look at the fact it is so hard to win on the PGA Tour. Jordan Spieth may never win again, for all we know. He could go into another slump. I mean, who knows? If he goes into another,
you didn't have to take it there. You didn't have to take it there.
I'm not saying I fully believe that he will. I'm saying that it is possible that he doesn't. It is possible that Justin Thomas never wins a PGA Tour event again.
We wouldn't complain if that was the case.
I mean,
Sure,
it's
we wouldn't
also
complain if that
possible.
was the case, but
I just think like sure, it's tough to win on the PGA Tour, yet the best players still win on the PGA Tour all the time, and that's why they're the best players. I mean, Rory McIlroy was in contention 4 times this year, and he won twice. If Tiger Woods, granted, I will say the one thing is that he will not play that many events.
True.
Right, and
Which
he
might be
will
good
only
for him,
play
though, honestly.
the best of the best events. So at that point, it does make it quite a bit more difficult to win.
I wonder
So from that perspective, I guess like your point is well taken, Bob, but at the same time, I don't like if Jordan mentioned this, like I don't think Tiger's playing golf on the PGA Tour if he doesn't think he can compete on the PGA Tour. And I know that there's not a big talent gap between all the guys, but Tiger Woods is certainly capable of playing good enough golf to contend in some events at some
For sure.
point down the line.
I think we all three agree if he does come back, it'll be a limited schedule. I wonder if he plays the FedEx Cup playoff events if he were to get in. Like
I don't
just
know.
wonder like what his schedule would be. Obviously, be the majors. You would think it'd be Memorial.
I don't think it would be possible. I don't think it would be possible for him to play 3 straight weeks.
No, I think he skips the first one.
That makes sense.
Like, I think he doesn't
I
go to
honestly don't think he gives a
Southwind.
crap about the playoff events, but that's another story.
Yeah, no, but it is because he's won at Eastlake, right? So that's a place that he could win number 83, right? And I'm sure that's in his mind somewhere.
He'd probably
Um,
skip the first playoff event just because it's a TPC Southwind.
Right. But that
Yeah.
being said, to be able to skip the first playoff event, he has to play good golf.
Yeah,
in,
exactly.
like, the 6 or 7 events that he will play.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's like, and I think that again leads me back to the point that he won't play unless he feels like he can compete. Because at that point, it's just like, well, I could be spending time with my family, or I could be doing other things that are more beneficial and make me feel better than just playing golf to finish T37 at wherever the Genesis.
Tiger's
So-
not coming back to do that. He's going to come back to
Yeah, and he may not come back, and that's unfortunate. But if he does, he will be back to compete.
Yeah. I don't know. I still see him coming back, but just like my closing point, the only thing that would irritate me about Tiger coming back is I'd have to watch Tiger Woods 20 shots back on a Sunday on my TV. That's the only
Yeah,
thing
That is really frustrating. There's
I know
not.
it's
I
coming if
mean,
he comes back.
they need to have a Tiger tour live if they're gonna. I mean, because
Yeah.
because there's just no way to watch any other shots when Tiger's playing golf.
yeah, they might as well have their own Tiger stream.
Agreed.
Like, there's
He's
at that
earned it.
point-
He's earned it.
Right. At that point, just like put him on another stream. And then, like, if he hits a good shot, show it for sure. Like, I want to see Tiger good shots, but at the same time, like,
If
I don't want to see every Tiger tee shot when he's -6.
If
and
Golf
he's
Channel
at -15.
was willing to pay someone to create an account on Twitter that is just dedicated to tracking Tiger Woods' golf shots, why can't you just dedicate a stream to Tiger Woods? That's so much easier.
Yeah.
So much
Oh,
easier.
that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. It's a good idea too, actually.
Maybe they'll
Just have it.
listen.
Just have a Tiger stream.
If they are listening, your product sucks. Just throwing that out there.
God. Okay. We had to go there again. What are your thoughts on Pebble hosting US Open then, Jordan?
It's on the schedule, isn't it? Hey, if Jordan wins there, my opinion likely changes on it.
Okay.
I'll say that. So
That's fair. It might be one of the few US Open spots that he could win at.
And just while we're
keep
on-
going with this like
I
modern
know.
US Open setup.
just because we're on it, and it has nothing to do with Tiger, although Tiger did win at Pebble by 15 shots. The reason I hate the US Open, there's just so many good US Open courses, and Pebble is just not as good as some of them. So
Yeah.
end of argument. But
I also feel like what they're trying to accomplish when they send the US Open to Wingfoot or other places that are more difficult and demanding is not the same thing that they can accomplish at Pebble. Right? Like
Yeah.
Pebble is going to be 10 under par regardless.
exactly. The thing
That's,
about
I
Pebble,
don't think that's that bad, but for a US Open, it feels like they've kind of embraced all right, winners like -3, -4, you know.
Yeah,
So,
the sad thing about Pebble too is when they play the Pebble Beach Pro-Am in February, it's not even the best course of the 3 they play.
right.
It's is it Monterey Peninsula is the one everyone loves?
Monterey is beautiful, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's one
don't
Jordan loves.
know. I feel like
Monterey is super easy. though.
Monterey's so
It's
easy. I
beautiful.
feel like at that point, just get him to
Spyglass.
Cyprus.
Spyglass is
Do
cool.
Cyprus. Because I mean,
Yeah,
if you're gonna have
I've heard things about Cyprus not being not good enough for a tour event, but just like not.
It's really short, I think.
it's like
It's-
6,600 yards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't have the qualifications for.
Just turn the greens up. Just make them brown.
But I mean, with the wind howling from 600 yards, I still don't think anyone's going to shoot like 59. I mean,
No.
That 240-yard hole over the water is ridiculous.
Yeah. That would be
Just
cool.
because we're on it and to our audience, we haven't even discussed this, and I'm just going to tell the two right now. We got to have a podcast just talking about golf courses.
Absolutely.
Our favorites, least favorites on tour. Golf
And
courses that
that'll
should be on
probably
tour.
be in the schedule prediction at some point. I'd
True.
imagine.
Good
That
point.
honestly will probably come into play, but I think we got to do. Yeah, I think we got to do a podcast. I mean, our opinions. I mean, we watch basically every single course on tour most of the time. I mean, there's not really a course that we haven't watched, so we know everything about them. But yeah, I think we definitely have to have that for sure. But
Well, yeah, let us know if you guys want to hear it. or
Yeah.
not.
it's
Well,
all
there's
it's
a lot
all
of
to you
interest.
guys. I mean, we never would have done this if you guys didn't want to hear it. So
Yeah, if you don't want to hear it, then we'll just we won't do a pod on it. 'Cause-
exactly.
True.
Yeah,
This was a
just-
good one though. I don't have anything else. I don't know if you.
No,
two-
yeah, I think these short pods are good. Absolutely. And I know let's see, what's the schedule coming up? All right, so the 15th. By now we would have already announced it, I think, right? Yes, because we'll be doing the interview sometime next week. So 15th, Rory McIlroy tracker. We'll basically be talking about not only the Rory part of it, but he's a social media wizard. He knows how to get it done on social media. He's created one of the best accounts on social media in terms of really probably in terms of all sports. I mean, to be able to, I mean, he's got almost 200,000 on Instagram. So that'll be interesting to see how we did that. And then let's see, what else do we got? The 22nd. Depends. We might release the Sean interview then, if the baby hasn't come out yet. The baby news hasn't come out, I should say. We're probably not going to hear about the baby until after he's born.
Yeah, it might not. If he plays the hero,
if he plays the hero, we'll find out then.
we
So,
will
and then we'll have
find out because the media will ask him about it, and there will be some sort of hero preview / hero recap.
Oh, yeah,
if
we'll be going into deep dive about the hero, especially because there's a lot to be talked about. That's an event that, given how Jordan's been playing recently, he could win that event. I mean,
yeah, oh for sure,
he could win
Out of
that
20
event.
dudes.
I
It's a
mean,
great spot for OWGR, 20 as
especially
well.
since John Rahm's not playing. He's one of the best players in the field.
no DJ either. I
No
don't think.
DJ.
And some of the
Um,
swing stuff he's been working on that we just saw today when we were recording this on Saturday night. Got
Yeah.
some stuff I was happy to see.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jordan was just talking about that, about how, I mean, seeing Jordan Spieth not hang the clubs up is
Yeah,
a
that's
very
cool.
encouraging thing. But yeah, I
The
mean,
fire burns. I
Fire
love to
burns.
use that.
this is
expression.
I was thinking about this when I was driving home tonight. I think Jordan during the FedEx Cup playoffs really just found the FedEx Cup playoffs so unfun that he kind of had that mindset of like, all right, just get me to the end of the season and get me to the end of the Ryder Cup. I'd rather be home with my wife. And I think he stayed home with his wife for a week and was like, I can't be doing this. I got to play golf. I need to play golf. I love playing golf. And that's why he committed to the CJ. He committed to the CJ. He had a blast. And that's why he was like, all right, now I got to commit to the hero. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's how I think it all went down. And I think there's a pretty good chance that is how it went down. So,
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun to see him like continue to keep working at it. Not that I'm surprised, but we also just don't get a lot of Spieth swing videos in his time off because he is a very private person. But
No, he
Another-
doesn't even post them. It's always Altus or Cameron.
yeah. In other Spieth news, back in the top 10, I believe.
Yeah, after
So
tomorrow,
that's-
after
yeah, by the time we release this, yes. Top
He will
10.
be back in. He will have been back in. He may not like stay, like he might get bumped back out after Mayakoba or something, but we're not
I mean, if he doesn't play
Sure.
hero, he'll definitely get knocked back out. I mean,
Yeah,
that's basically
but-
the top 20. But
right. Yeah, he.
the more that I think about it, I think he's going to play hero. I think he wants to play golf so badly that unless the baby
is
pops
late.
up like the 25th, like after, like way after the due date,
Yeah,
I think he's playing. I think he's got his mindset on playing. And
yeah. We'll dive into that more later, but
yeah,
as of now,
As of now, I think that's
What
all
we
we
got.
got for you now. Yeah.
That's all we got.
I mean,
Thanks. Yeah, thanks guys for listening. We
I can
appreciate it.
guarantee you. Well, first of all, if you haven't listened to the Brooks interview yet, that you got to listen to the Brooks interview. That guy is a
good
beauty.
listen.
Love that guy. That guy is awesome. What a
And he's
fun
got an Australian accent.
and that just makes it that much
Exactly.
better. I mean, all we ask is that you listen to 1 minute, because if you listen to 1 minute, you'll be hooked and you'll want to keep listening. So the Australian accent is definitely a perk. And then obviously, I mean, these next two are going to be great. I mean, we haven't recorded yet, but the Rory interview, that guy, I've seen him do other interviews before. He looks like a class act, looks like a great guy. And I mean, Sean speaks for himself. You are going to really enjoy that one. So yeah, you're going to really enjoy that one. So we hope you guys I'll be going on vacation. I've been on vacation when this drops for the past 4 days with no service. So that's why we're doing this like smaller pod, because I won't be able to do much editing the week before I drop this. So but we know you guys want to hear it. So yeah.
Hope you enjoyed.
Hope you enjoyed, and hope you guys have a good rest of your weeks. Thanksgiving coming up. Football, not for me. I won't be watching football, but Dolphins kind of suck. But for everyone else, yeah, hope you enjoy the other sports going on. I know it's big sports time, and hope you enjoy your days whenever you listen to this. So yeah.
Take care, y'all.
Yep. Peace.
See ya.